Before I start this lesson, I'd like to give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakodash, the bond to Apostle Ezra Millstone, rule well and teach well. Shalom to the 144,000 men that's pushy, get believe in this word of our true sincerity and sacrificing their lives as wills to do so. Shalom to the men, women, and children that's tuning in and listening, and shalom to the early foreign scattered abroad to all four corners of the earth. So like you. The Heavenly Father name is Yahweh. His only begotten Son name is Yahweh Shai. And Lord willing, this video is edifying, quick, and straight to the point. This video right here will be entitled The King Alfred Plan. Or I say it like this, code name Rex 84. So this plan right here is this plan is basically a plan of civil war and chaos, but also persecution against those that believe in the word, believe in this truth in this word. Also, this is going to show in Jacob's trouble is going to show pursuing the Revelation 12 and 12 who the true enemy, who your enemy is, for you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. For you Negroes and Latinos and Native Americans that also trust and believe in this Esau, think the so-called white man is your savior, he's your best friend, and ultimately you're going to see from your so-called government is going to persecute you just for looking different. Not even just that. If you went down with this NWO, you're an enemy to the state. You're ultimately going to be an outcast in society. If you don't got the MOTB, you're going to be an outcast in society. So I'm going to read a little bit of this article, and I'm going to grab some precepts, and then that'll be it. This is the introduction. The plan first appeared in John A. Williams' 1967 novel, The Man Who Cried I Am, a fictionalized account of the life and death of Richard Wright. And afterwards, to later editions, Williams compares King Alfred plan to intelligence programs devised by J. Edgar Hoover in the 1960s to monitor the movements of black militants. It also bears similarities to rumors in the early 1950s surrounding the McCarran Act and the anti-communist law in emergency. So ultimately, those the Hebrew Israelites, the Hebrew Israelite movement is labeled a black extremist group, militant group, and IUIC too as well. But ultimately, those that goes against this system, beginning with those that believe in the word, believe in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Great Millstone, IUIC, ISUBK, etc., etc. You're labeled as militant groups. So for IUIC to think, oh, we just going to be Muslims in that 501c3 charter, you're still an enemy of the state. You marching each and everywhere, you getting a ministry blame, and ultimately, when shit really hits the fan, a lot of you IOIC members don't get caught in that fire, because the leader of IUIC, General Nate or Bish Nate, ultimately got y'all to land to slaughter. He got y'all in the crosshairs of Eastside Edom. So now that puts the ministry of blame. Now they look at all of the Hebrew Israelite thing as a whole, even though there's groups among us that are particular groups, primarily Great Millstone is teaching the true doctrine of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. But ultimately, yeah, we're in the scope and the crosshairs of Esau Edom. Let me see. Okay. Let me see. An anti-communist law in. Oh, I read it wrong. Let me restart. An anti-communist law in which political subversives were to be rounded up and placed in concentration camps during a national emergency. So when Jacob trouble pop off, no matter the time, day, hour, that's going to put martial law in effect, and you're going to be a high target for these military trained groups, the National Guard, all of that. So Jake is going to be a primary target. These elites ain't playing. So, like it says in Revelation 12 and 12, and I'm going to grab that. Actually, I'm going to grab it real quick. Or actually, I'm going to grab it afterwards. But ultimately, we're going to be caught into a rock and a hard place, man. Jacob's trouble going to be filled with civil war, insurrection among the people, sedition among the people, politicians going wild, people going to be murky. And it's going to be a lot going on in Jacob's trouble, man. Just to think about it and dwell and reflect, think about it. So ultimately, when martial law is established and it's fully kicked down, they're going to do away with the Constitution. They're going to do away with all of that. You ain't going to be able to freely roam around and do whatever you want. The MOTB is going to be fully mandated. And it ain't going to be, you can't just walk out like it's a cool, hot, normal day outside. You know? So I'm going to get Revelation chapter 12. So, I'm going to get Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12. Because you're going to see the true horns in nature of Esau Edom. This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. And yet Esau Edom is about to come down on you Israelites, ultimately, primarily dealing with all these Israelites groups. You know, so when the Lord obviously said what he said in Amos, the Lord's going to start judging those that know him, ultimately, and know the word and know the truth. You're going to be judged first. You're going to be held accountable first. So let me go back to that real quick. So I'm going to jump down. King Alfred, code name Rex 84, King Alfred, in the event of widespread and continuing coordinated racial disturbances in the United States, King Alfred, at a discretion of the president, is to be put in action immediately. Participating federal agencies, National Security Council, Department of Justice, and ultimately all these agencies are going to be basically put out the dogs, as they say. Ultimately, these guards, these policemen, they're going to be trained to shoot on sight or take you into prison. And by prison, I mean concentration camps. Let me see. This is a good little article to read. But ultimately, I'm trying to skim and scan because there's a lot to read. Let me see. Even before 1954, when the Supreme Court of the United States of America declared unconstitutional separate educational and recreational facilities, racial unrest and discord had become very nearly a part of the American way of life, but the way of life was repugnant to most Americans. Let me see. And you know how when Esau always tried to sit up here and he always put Jake in the forefront of everything. He always try to put Jake in the forefront of everything. Like we're the savages, we're the brute beasts, we're the killers. And now Jake are, but ultimately Esau's Edom is a way lot worse. These elites, what they do in the background, it don't compare to what Jake do. These elites be doing some freaky shit and very demonic shit. But you also know, even in the news, when you read the comments, you be like, oh, the usual suspects, there's the so-called usual suspects, but the elites, the Rothschilds, Rockefeller, the Gettys, DuPont, so on and so forth, they're the ones that do all this shit and they pass it down. If the, as I say in the, what is it, Ecclesiastes or Proverbs, I might be mixing up, but if the rulers are unjust, how much more so the people? So anyways, let me see. The minority has adopted and almost posture gain. Wait, let me see. The minority has adopted an almost military posture to gain its objective, which are not clear to the Americans. It is expected that an emergency comes. We must expect total involvement of all 2 million members of the minority, men, women, and children. For once this project is launched, its goal to terminate once and for all the minority threat to the whole American society and indeed the free world. So therefore, those that are IUIC, when y'all marching in these groups, teaching with Muslims, y'all just painted yourselves a bigger target. So therefore, when y'all trying to kiss Esau's Edom ass and trying to make it seem like y'all just for the people trying to get paid by a white man, you're on his fucking hit list. Now, if Gary Millstone, we were going to be a part of that too, because we're ultimately coming against what Esau Edom has set up. With that 2 Corinthians, the pulling down strongholds. We're pulling down this American stronghold, man. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty to the pulling down of strongholds. And ultimately, when this shit's pop off, it ain't gonna be no it ain't gonna be no I could. If you ain't got that chip, and if you are labeled as an extremist or military or militant group, you're going to be in the crosshairs of Esau Edom. He's gonna either put you to death, or he's gonna put you in the concentration camps. That's why it says in Second Esdras, we're going to be on the run, basically, pilgrims upon the earth. We're not gonna be able to comfort our homes. We ain't gonna be in some mansion or high rise. We gonna have to be on the run. Some brothers are going to be on the run. Some brothers are gonna be in the concentration camp, so on and so forth. So when Jacob's trouble comes, we gonna see if Jacob's trouble is gay, or it ain't no such thing as Jacob's trouble. We gonna see if there's no such thing as the MOTB. Ultimately, let's see. Under King Alfred, the nation has been divided into 10 regions. In case of emergency, minority members will be evacuated from all cities by federalized National Guard units. So therefore, ultimately, if you were Israel, you're going to be persecuted, but you're going to be put in concentration camps or put to death, and that's what we have to face. So just like the apostles had to take up their cross, we have to take up ours. And the elect are going to prevail either way. So if we have to be a martyr for the truth, so fucking be it. That's how it's going to have to be, and that's what's going to have to be. And that's a glorious way to go out. So ultimately, if we got to be put in concentration camps like Paul and Silas, they was in the prison. But ultimately, if we have to go through that, we have to go through that. That's just how that's going to have to be. And a lot of y'all going to fold. Let me see. If necessary, by units of the regular armed forces using public and military transportation. So you're basically going to be deported or sent off to these concentration camps if you're not with Esau Edom. And detained in a nearby military installation till further course of action has been decided. So these are the regions. It's divided to Capital Region, Northeast Region, Southeast Region, Great Lakes Region. Now, if you're in Michigan, you're in the Great Lakes Region. I forgot exactly how it's divided, but I know Michigan, Ohio, Illinois, and if I'm not mistaken, basically the Great Lakes, where those bodies of water, that's a region. You got South Central Region, Deep South Region, Deep South Region, the second or two, Great Plains, Rocky Mountain Region, Southwest Region, and West Coast Region. So all 10 regions are divided, and also they will have they basically will be split into groups and having National Guards, military, etc., and concentration camps in these regions. Divide and conquer technique. Let me see. Let me see. Do not have. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. All organizations and their leaders are under constant 24 surveillance. The organizations are the Black Muslims. So that we number one on the list of so-called Black Muslims. We're not Muslim or we're not fucking black. We're Hebrew Israelites. So we're number one on the list. So you therefore, though IUIC trying to teach with the Muslims, you're on the fucking list. So you're going to be the one that's going to be up next, man. Let me see. These are just primarily most of the lists. But now I'm going to grab some precepts, and then I don't want to make this too long. I'm going to grab the precepts I had. Because ultimately, Esau Edom, this is what he's setting up. He's setting this up for long-term means, but the Lord is ultimately going to destroy his enterprise. This is Psalms 49. Let me go to it. This is Psalms chapter 49 and verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever and their dwelling places to all generations. And ultimately, Esau Edom with this NWO, he's going to use that to establish his birthright yet again that he lost. But he ultimately trying to rule forever and ever. He's the ultimate atheist. The ultimate atheist that's basically trying to make his own birthright, trying to make his own ways, his own laws. You know, that's how Esau is. He's prideful. But the Lord's going to come down and beat his ass. And I'm going to grab Amos chapter 5 real quick. Because ultimately, Amos chapter 5 explains, Amos chapter 5 in these verses I'm about to grab, it explains what we're going to go through. And also 2nd Ezra 15 and 16, I'm going to grab that too as well. Let me see where it was at. This is Amos chapter 5 and verse 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord, Yahweh. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord, Yahweh, is darkness and not of light. So Jacob's trouble ain't gonna be no pieces of cream. In verse 19, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear metal. So it's going to be problems on top of problems on top of problems. You ain't going to be able to catch a break unless the Lord allows you and permits you with a break. And that goes for the 1/3 and the elect. If you're not of the elect in that day and you don't have the Spirit on you, you're fucked. And that's just how it's going to be. And that's just how the Lord said. If you do not have, that's why this grace period is important, to build up the infrastructure, to build up your spiritual bank account. So the Lord can ultimately protect you in that day. Or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. So ultimately, we're going to have pressure from above and beneath. That's what Esau Edom is trying to do. He's going to have the MOTB out. He's going to cut off the water supply, cut off the food supply, cut off the infrastructure, all of that. He's going to ration food out. That's the type of times we're living in. So therefore, if you ain't get y'all shit serious, get serious. Let me see. I reversed. Went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. So we're going to have to be dealing with this is metaphorical, because the things that's going to happen, we're going to be on the run. So you ain't going to be able to be in your house or in a bunker. And even for those Jake that are in the bunker, those celebrities, y'all gonna get fucked up in them bunkers, man, because the Lord gonna have it to where something's gonna come get you. You're not fucking safe. Verse 20, shall not the day of the Lord Yahweh be darkness and not of light, even very dark and no brightness in it? So ultimately, that in Jacob's trouble, and when the Lord returns, it's not going to be a day of hugs and kisses and roses, and it ain't going to be none of that. The Lord's coming back to do business and commit mass judgment on this place, aka Babylon, aka America. But ultimately, dealing with Jacob's trouble, Esau Edom is about to unleash he's going to show his full horns, and he's really going to show you who he really is. Let me see how long. I'm going to grab 2nd Ezra because that's probably the longest part. I'm going to grab 2nd Ezra. Let me see. Was that is it 15 and 16? Ooh. Damn. Okay. I'm gonna grab 2nd Ezra chapter 16. I'm gonna just jump to the point. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse. Let me see. Verse I marked. Verse 30. What, 30 what? Okay, this is 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 36. Behold, the word of the Lord receive it. Believe not the gods of whom the Lord spake. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. So therefore, we're going to be dealing with plagues, pestilence, strange apparitions, civil war, cannibal. Man, it's going to get real wicked out here. And if you ain't got the Lord with you, you're going to be completely obliterated. You're going to get. It's going to be multiple ways of death: suicide, getting ate by animals, getting ate by humans, getting killed. It's just so. It's going to be so much death out here. It's going to be fucking. It's going to be worse than 70 AD. Verse 38. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son with 2 or 3 hours of her bringeth forth her son with 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains compass her womb, which pains when the child cometh forth, they are slack not a moment. So it's gonna be a lot of shit going on. It's gonna be so much, not even just sorrow, but pain, misery, despair out here. It's gonna be crazy. It's not crazy because we obviously see it, but it's gonna be one thing of seeing it and one thing reading about it, and we're gonna fully live this. Let me see. So like, yeah. Which pains when the child cometh forth, they are not slack a moment. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn. And yeah, people are going to be mourning. People are going, when the internet goes off, when the power goes off. Oh, man. When the power goes off, that's just one thing. So you got to think, with all these, what was that happened? It's a strike. I can't remember. But ultimately, when foods get cut off, the power grid goes out, pharmacies close, it's gonna be complete and utter chaos, man. People can't live without a day or two without power. They get going crazy. So how much more so when you ain't got food, you ain't got running water, you ain't able to get clothes, you ain't able to go to the store, you ain't able to smoke your weed, do your drug, whatever. People are about to get crazy out here. Let me see. Verse 39, even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon it on every side. So that's why that Amos 5 is going to that's talking about animal. It gives a metaphor of animals, but it's going to be lots of problems. It's going to be pain on each and every side. Verse 40, O my people, hear the word of the Lord. Make yourself ready to battle, and those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. And yeah, we're going to have to be pilgrims upon the earth, because ultimately we're not going to be able to sit in our homes, abide in our homes. None of that. We're not going to be able to. And now some brothers might be able to, have a little place. And by a little place, I mean like not a full fucking house or. Some brothers are, bottom line is, brothers are going to be protected. The Lord going to provide a sanctuary, provide a place of rest, provide a place to eat or food to eat, whatever. The scripture says that. The angel of the Lord encampeth around those that fear him, fear the Lord. So ultimately, we're going to have that last laugh, and we're praying for that deliverance. But I don't want to make this video too long. Lord willing, this video is edifying. But before I close out, I'd like to give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakudash. And Lord willing, this video is edifying, and on to the next one. Shalom.